Love's blood is the price we pay for opening our hearts fully. I bleed for the love that vanished like smoke, leaving only ash. My blood is a map of every broken promise you ever made. I bled for you quietly while you lived loud and unbroken. Love bled in me like a sacred fire that burned and purified. The blood of heartbreak flows deeper than any ocean's tide. I shed blood instead of tears because this pain is too raw to cry. Your leaving tore open my veins, but my heart still bleeds hope. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. I bled love like a martyr, sacrificing pieces I'll never get back. Blood is the silent scream of love lost to time and betrayal. I bleed for the love that died before it ever truly lived. The pain you caused is a river of blood I swim in daily. My blood stains the pages of the love story you forgot. I bled through the silence, hoping my wounds would finally be seen. You bled my soul dry, but I still carry your ghost inside. Every drop of blood I shed is a prayer for your healing too. I bleed because love is a wound that refuses to close. My heart bleeds for the you I loved and the you I lost. The blood on my hands is proof love sometimes means losing yourself. I bled love into the void, hoping it would echo back to me. You broke my bloodline of hope, but not the strength beneath it. I bleed because love's lessons come with a price written in pain. My tears turned to blood when love refused to heal or stay. The blood in my heart pulses with memories I can't let go. I bleed quietly, carrying the weight of a love that could never stay. Your absence turned my tears to blood, a sacred sign of deep love. I bleed love's agony because it taught me to feel fully alive. Blood tears fall because some loves carve forever scars on our souls. I bleed in the silence between us, where words died and shadows grew. Your absence tastes like blood, bitter, raw, impossible to swallow or forget. The love I bled was a wildfire, beautiful enough to burn worlds. I carry your ghosts in my veins, bleeding memories no one can see. Bloodied hearts still beat, refusing to surrender to the dark of lost love. I bleed for the you I dreamed of, not the one who left. Love's cruel edge left me bleeding, but strangely alive in the ruins. My blood remembers your touch long after your hands have gone cold. The wound of your leaving bleeds, demanding I keep feeling to stay whole. I bled in the shadows, hoping my pain would find its own light. Every scar bleeds a story of love, loss, and reluctant survival. You bled my hope dry, but I harvested strength from the ashes. Love's blood is the ink that writes our deepest truths and darkest secrets. I bleed love's contradiction, beauty and pain tangled in eternal embrace. Your betrayal bled through my soul, carving silence where laughter once lived. I bled in the quiet hours, where heartbreak whispers its cruelest songs. Blood tears mark the moments love taught me to be both broken and brave. I carry your absence as blood in my heart, visible only to the soul. Love's bleeding wounds teach us how to bleed less and heal more. I bled for the love I lost and the self I found bleeding still. Your silence is the blood that nourishes my growing wounds of longing. I bleed red because love demands raw honesty, even when it hurts. Every heartbeat bleeds a prayer for the love I wish had stayed. The blood on my soul is proof that love was real, even in pain. I bled through the cracks of our love, searching for light beyond loss. Your leaving left a blood stain on my soul that refuses to fade. I bleed for the love that never returned, yet still shapes my spirit. Love's blood flows through my veins, a sacred pain I cannot escape. I shed blood for the dreams we built and the ashes we became. The wounds you left bleed a sacred fire that refuses to die. I bled because love was never meant to be safe, only true. Your absence turns my tears to blood, sacred remnants of a shattered heart. I carry love's bleeding wounds like badges of my own fierce survival. Blood stains my soul's pages, where your name is written in invisible ink. I bled love into the void, hoping it would echo back one day. The pain you caused bleeds in me, teaching me what true strength means. I bleed quietly, a sacred sacrifice to the gods of broken hearts. Love's blood stains my hands, but I hold the power to heal still. I bleed love's paradox, the joy of feeling deeply and the ache it brings. Your leaving bled silence into my veins, where only truth now remains. My dear, I want to shed you tears of blood, because love's pain is too sacred for ordinary sorrow. When your silence screams louder than your words, I bleed in the spaces you leave behind. Your absence carved wounds too deep for time or tears to ever heal. I loved you in a way that shattered my soul's fragile glass, bleeding forever. The blood you spilled in my heart won't wash away. It stains the core of who I am. Love isn't gentle. It's a violent storm where hearts break and bleed in rhythm. I wept oceans, but only blood could mirror the depth of this agony. You were the knife that cut through my veins, leaving love dripping in scarlet. Every broken promise is a crimson thread in the tapestry of my suffering. Your goodbye was a wound that bled silently, poisoning every memory. I carry the weight of your betrayal like blood in my veins, impossible to escape, Healing feels like ripping open the bloodied bandage, only to find it still raw. Your love was a poison, beautiful yet fatal, bleeding me dry in secret. Even angels weep blood for a heart shattered by love's cruel deceit. I wanted to bleed with you, but you only left me to bleed alone. The scars you left are my blood-written poetry, unreadable but impossible to forget. Our love was a battlefield where I lost everything, including the blood in my heart. Every tear was a drop of blood. Silent screams in the dark of love's war. You haunted my veins with your absence, turning my blood to ash and fire. The pain you caused runs deeper than blood, coursing through my soul's darkest places. I loved you with bloodied hands, desperate to hold a ghost that wasn't mine. The wounds you carved bleed truth too raw for comfort or closure. My heart's blood spilled on the altar of us, worshiping a love that betrayed. Love's betrayal is a wound that bleeds without end, demanding I keep bleeding. I weep blood for the pieces of you I swallowed whole, now jagged inside me. Your silence tastes like iron and sorrow. Each word unsaid bleeds within me. I wanted your love so badly. I bled red tears no one else could see. The ache in my chest isn't pain. It's blood clotted with regret and memory. You made me bleed from places even time's balm can never touch. Love's sharp edges cut my veins, leaving me dripping with your absence. I carry your betrayal as blood in my lungs, choking every breath. The love I bled out was a sacrifice you never even noticed. You promised forever, but left only bloodstains where my heart once lived. My soul is a wound, still bleeding from the memory of your touch. To love you was to bleed slowly, painfully, beautifully, without end. I bleed for the love that never returned, a ghost in my veins. Your leaving was a wound soaked in blood and silent despair. I wanted to hold you, but I only held bleeding wounds instead. Blood tears fall when words fail to express the depths of loss. Love wasn't kind. It was a slow bleed into the dark night of my soul. I shed blood for the moments you never valued, but I cherished. You taught me how to bleed love's agony with eyes wide open. I carry your absence like blood stains on my skin, impossible to hide. The love that bled between us was fierce, fatal, and unforgettable. My heart bled because I believed in you more than in myself. You left me bleeding, but I'm learning to make my wounds sacred. Every beat of my heart bleeds a prayer for your return or release. You carved your name into my blood, eternal, painful, unforgettable. I bleed red because loving you was a war without mercy or end. Even stars weep blood for love stories that end in silence and sorrow. I bled out dreams for you, only to wake in a nightmare of truth. The blood on my hands is proof of how much I loved. I bled in silence while your absence screamed through my veins. Love's blood isn't always visible. Sometimes it's a quiet, endless ache. The wounds you left bleed lessons no pain could teach so deeply. I bled because you were my only salvation and my greatest curse. Love's blood spilled quietly, drowning me in a sea of broken promises. Your betrayal is the blood I carry to remind me I survived. I bleed for the love that shattered me and the strength to heal. Blood tears fall when love turns its back and leaves you in darkness. I bled through every smile, hiding the wounds you never saw. The scar that bleeds is the truth no apology can erase. You broke me open, and my blood wrote the story of my survival. I loved you until my blood ran dry, and still I loved more. Tears of blood mark the path from heartbreak to my awakening. Your absence bleeds louder than your presence ever did. I bleed because love demanded all of me, and I gave everything. The blood I cry is a sacred offering to the gods of love. I carry the blood of us in my veins, eternal and aching. The ache of lost love is a bleeding wound that time fears to touch. I bled because I trusted you to be my sanctuary, not my storm.